subscribe to the channel. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah! Hello, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I am Nick from Australia. Welcome to the Australia versus Samoa Rugby League World Cup final review. Australia are the World Cup champions once again. A 30-10 win over Samoa. Australia have won the World Cup once again. And let me just say this, Jerome Luai, who's your daddy now, baby? Jerome Luai, who is your daddy? You cocky son of a bitch. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're new to this YouTube channel, make sure you like the content, like the channel, like this live stream. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here as well. Share the video around on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, and Twitter. Share it around if you're new around here. And if you believe that Samoa were any chance last night, well, you're just reporting fake news. We have a troll in the chat, and we are not going to tolerate morons in the live chat tonight. So goodbye, Mr. Clownhead in the live chat. Goodbye. But if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. We are doing very, very well on the channel. We're getting very close to the end of the season now, and this was the last rugby league game of 2022. There's no more games until February, so we've got 8 weeks of torture coming up now, but we'll all get through it, and we'll be looking forward to the pre-season, the World Club Challenge, the Charity Shield, the new season, 2023. And until then, it's going to be a bit of a grind, but I'm sure everyone will manage to get through it. Australia, far too good for Samoa last night in the Rugby League World Cup final. The Kangaroos were very clinical. I thought James Tedesco was absolutely out of this world. Latrell Mitchell was outstanding. Nathan Cleary had a fantastic game. Regan Campbell-Gillard and Liam Martin also played very well. The Kangaroos, way too much class for Samoa. The only players for Samoa that I can give a rap to is Joseph Suoli'i. Suoli'i was probably Samoa's best player last night. Crichton and To'o tried very hard, but they struggled in patches as well, but they tried hard. Junior Paulo, he played really well for Samoa last night. And look, probably Jaden Sewer and Josh Papali, probably the others that I would give a rap to from the Samoa side last night. All right, before we get into the review, hello to the live chat. We've got a bit of a crowd building up here for the Australia versus Samoa World Cup final review. Hello to Josh Rabbitohs 2022. Hello to Let's Go Bulldogs. Hello to SS Storm Fan. Hello to Cody Games PlayStation. Hello to Faraz, CJ Moxley, Electrical Dust. William Pearson is here. We've got everyone's starting to tune in now. It's been good. Angus Crichton was really bad for Australia. Yeah, Crichton didn't have the greatest game, did he? Got sin bin and whatnot, which I'll get to very, very soon. But let's get into the review. Let's get into the match. Now, this game was very, very open. The first 10 minutes of this World Cup final last night was extremely entertaining. Both sides threw the footy around early on. Both sides weren't afraid to play unpredictable. And Samoa were a little bit hard done by early on. There was a 40-20 attempt there from Chanel Harris to Vita. It was flicked back in from James Tedesco. Tedesco's foot was actually on the touchline. So Samoa were a little bit hard done by that. Samoa sort of had a chance 20 metres out in the first 3 or 4 minutes. So they were a little bit hard done by there, Samoa, not to have early possession on the attack. But the referees missed it, which is disappointing in these sort of games. They need to get this right, but they got it wrong. So, look, Samoa looked good early on. They threw the footy around, looked quite dangerous. Australia looked pretty good as well. I think the Kangaroos, they allowed Samoa to be like, righto, let's see what you got the first 10 minutes. Let's see what kind of style you're going to play. And once the Kangaroos worked out what Samoa were going to do, how they were going to attack, the Kangaroos adjusted to it, and they adapted very, very well. Now, the first try of the game come on that left-hand side from the Kangaroos, which is very dangerous. When you've got Munster, Angus Crichton, Latrell Mitchell, and Addo Carr on that left-hand side, there are not many sides that are going to be able to stop that left edge. It is far too lethal. Latrell Mitchell gets the ball, and he goes over and scores the very first try of the game. Too big, too strong, too powerful. The strike of Latrell Mitchell is elite. Latrell Mitchell scores the very first try of the game. Kangaroos start very well. That was the first try there, scored in the 13th minute. Nathan Cleary misses the conversion. The Kangaroos go to a 4-0 lead. Great start for Australia. Not long after that, about 4 minutes later, so Australia had 2 tries in about 5 minutes here. Addo Carr made a break for the middle third of the field. It was away, passed it back on the inside to James Tedesco, who was linking up in support. Of course he is. Tedesco goes in and scores. The Kangaroos, a 10-0 lead after 17 minutes, and I thought to myself, well, it's 10-0, 2 tries in 4 minutes, and it's not even 20 minutes into the game yet. If Samoa are not careful, this could genuinely get ugly. This could be 40. Samoa were in danger. They were in all sorts of trouble there. And then a bit back and forth for a while, bit of a grind. Couple of errors from Samoa, a little bit. I think a little bit of nerves, from Samoa. The Kangaroos, they brought Paddy Carrigan on the field. Carrigan came on the field. I don't want to be negative about Paddy Carrigan, but Carrigan had a shocker last night. He had a lot of errors in him. He was sloppy. As I thought, Carrigan had one of his worst games in the whole tournament. Carrigan was horrible last night, in my opinion. Harry Grant came on. He looked dangerous with the football as well. We get to the 30th minute there, and the Kangaroos were down that right-hand side, which they went to a lot. The Kangaroos had a lot of success on that right-hand side. And Liam Martin, we all thought he knocked the ball on, but he ended up scoring, Liam Martin, on that right-hand side. Liam Martin scores for Australia. The Kangaroos look very dangerous. Liam Martin scores that try, and I thought, well, Samoa's gone. It's game over. Samoa's not coming back. 14-0 was too much for Samoa. They got no chance. So Liam Martin scores that try. Cleary misses the conversion again. Kangaroos lead 14 points to 0. And I thought to myself, how the hell are Samoa going to get back in the game? Their attack was horrible. They looked so predictable. Luai kept second-guessing himself. Anthony Milford, defensively, was putrid all night. He couldn't make a tackle to save his life. Milford had a stinker. We get to half-time. Australia lead 14 points to 0. And I thought to myself, there is just no way in the world Samoa's coming back. They haven't got the attack. They haven't got the defense. They look too nervous. They did look, the first 10, 15 minutes, I thought, the first 10 minutes in particular, Samoa didn't look nervous at all, but the longer the game went on, the more vulnerable Samoa looked. Australia looked better the longer the game went on. We get the second half, and I thought to myself, the only way Samoa will win is if the only way Samoa can come back and win is if Australia make a couple of errors on themselves, or they Samoa do something that's completely unexpected and that they can't defend. We got the moron is back again, so we're just going to have to remove him for good. We're going to block him. We're not going to allow some moron in the live chat to try and ruin our stream, so we're going to block him for good now. The only way Samoa could get back in the game is if Australia really mucked up or they made an error, and Samoa took advantage of that. And there was a few they did do that later on in the game, which I'll get to in just a moment. But I want to talk about this part of the game right here. The 46th minute, Angus Crichton sin bin. Now, this was a very interesting decision from referee Ashley Klein. Now, what happened was Harris Tavita knocked the ball on, and it was a dead play. And Crichton just puts up his arm like this with his elbow, and Harris Tavita just runs towards Crichton, and he contacts Crichton's arm/shoulder, elbow, whatever. And Harris Tavita ends up being knocked out. So Angus Crichton was basically bracing himself. And Harris Tavita was knocked out cold, did not return for the remainder of the game. He was completely gone. Now, sin bin versus send-off or no sin bin at all. Here's the thing, right? What's Angus Crichton meant to do? I want to know, what is Angus Crichton meant to do? If Angus Crichton doesn't put his elbow or arm up, Harris Tavita runs into him, and then we've got a shit show of a push and shove, which wouldn't have been the worst thing in the world. Crichton just put up his arm going, hey, watch out, sort of thing. Crichton got sin bin for it. Look, I'm okay with it being a sin bin. To everyone on Twitter that was saying it should have been a send-off, you're a fucking idiot. A red card, a send-off for that would have been a complete disgrace. It would have been an abysmal decision. I can live with a sin bin. A send-off would have just been horrible. If I was a referee, I probably wouldn't have sin binned him at all. I would have just said, penalty on report, move on. He's knocked out. But if Harris Tavita's not knocked out, is Harris Tavita getting sin binned? I'm saying probably not. So it's a bit of a tough call against Angus Crichton there, but he got sin binned for that. So they had 10 minutes, Samoa, to have a chance and get some points, and they weren't able to do that. And we get to the 52nd minute. Australia still had 12 men up against 13 at this stage, and they still found gaps to score points. Nathan Cleary with an absolute weapon of a pass to Cameron Murray. Murray goes straight through, right on that left edge where Crichton was sin bin, and Cameron Murray goes over to score. A fantastic try, seals the deal. Australia, that pretty much seals the game right there. Cam Murray scores. Cleary converts it. Australia lead 20 points to 0. Samoa are gone. There's no way back for them. And then Samoa had a bit of luck go their way a little bit. We get to the 60th minute. I don't know what happened there. The Kangaroos, they made an error, and Jerome Luai threw a cutout ball. Latrell Mitchell went for the intercept, missed it. Obviously, the advantage there. Crichton gives it on to Brian Toto. Toto goes in the corner, and I'm going, oh, well, finally, it's taken Samoa 60 minutes. They're on the goddamn board. Finally, they're finally on the board. Toto goes over in the corner. Crichton converts from the sideline. Australia led 20-6. About 18 minutes to go. Samoa still probably don't have a chance at this stage. 14 points against Australia. It is a very tough ask. It is. And it was, 20-6 Australia. And then, unbelievable try here. I think it was Munster to Cleary back to Tedesco or something. Tedesco went through and scored his second try of the game. James Tedesco last night was out of this world. Tedesco had a blinder. Tedesco gets his double. Australia, they go to a 26-6 lead. Unbelievable try there. Cleary to Munster to Teddy. Brilliant footy from the Kangaroos. What is it, 26-6 at that point? And then, once again, about 2 minutes later, the intercept king, Stephen Crichton. He just loves an intercept. He's the king of intercepts, Stephen Crichton. It's official now. It is literally official. Crichton gets another intercept. Crichton scores in the corner. What would it be, 26 points to 10. There's about 8 minutes to go. The Kangaroos are already at home. They're already celebrating at this stage. And then Nathan Cleary with 2 minutes to go kicks a 40-20. And then Australia went to the left-hand side. Latrell Mitchell goes in for his second try of the game. Latrell should have passed to Addo-Carr. Addo-Carr deserved to break the all-time record in a Rugby League World Cup. So Addo-Carr doesn't break the record. I wish he did. Latrell went himself. And, I mean, if you're Latrell Mitchell, why wouldn't you? He's a superstar player. Latrell goes in and scores. The Kangaroos win the game 30 points to 10. Very dominant performance from the Kangaroos. Very good. Samoa, very brave. They showed a lot of grit in this game. I thought they didn't handle the occasion that well. They struggled a little bit. Jerome Luai went missing. He had a pretty ordinary game. Milford was dog shit. Suoliti tried very hard. Harris Tavita, obviously, didn't have the greatest game, but he got knocked out, which didn't help him. There just wasn't enough attack from Samoa that was going to worry Australia. Samoa overachieved. I don't think many people had them in the final, although shout out to the great Paddy G. He did predict at the start of the tournament that it would be a Australia versus Samoa final with Australia winning. So shout out to Paddy G for once again nailing another prediction. Paddy G is a genius. He knows what he's talking about. So very, very well done there to Paddy G. Samoa tried hard. They had their moments where they were like, okay, we got a bit of momentum. But in my opinion, at 10-0, the game was over. I wasn't threatened by Samoa coming back after 10-0. I'm just going, well, they're going to score twice in a row against Australia. They're going to have a little bit of luck for that to happen. So, look, Samoa tried very hard in this tournament, and they tried very hard in this game. But the Kangaroos were just far too good. In my opinion, the best three players on the ground from last night's World Cup final. It's so hard to pick, but I've got it in front of me right here. Number 3, Latrell Mitchell, the third best player on the field last night. Latrell Mitchell was outstanding. Scored 2 tries. 40 out of blinder last night, Latrell Mitchell. He was absolutely outstanding. Number 2 goes to the halfback, Nathan Cleary. He had his best game of the tournament so far. Nathan Cleary was absolutely outstanding last night. I have been critical of Nathan Cleary. I don't think Nathan Cleary, I didn't think he deserved to be a halfback in this tournament. So he made me eat my words in this World Cup final. But, fair play to him. Nathan Cleary last night was outstanding. So he's my number 2. He was the second best player on the field. And the man of the match is pretty obvious. Scored 2 tries last night. Ran for 235 metres. In my opinion, the best player in the world, James Tedesco, the man of the match. In my opinion, James Tedesco is the best rugby league player in the world. There is no one better than Tedesco. He is the best player in the world. He was out of this world last night. Tedesco, he just keeps on winning big games. He just keeps on delivering. And you know what? This is going to sound really ridiculous to some people, and some people may agree with this. But in my opinion, James Tedesco is the second best fullback to ever wear a jersey for the Kangaroos. Obviously, you've got Billy Slater as number 1. I think Tedesco is number 2. And let me just say this. The gap is closing. Tedesco is very close to catching Billy Slater, in my opinion. I don't think he's far away. Tedesco is the best in the world. And he's one of the best fullbacks I've ever seen. Probably the second best I've ever seen. He is a freak. Now, before I wrap things up, I need to say something. The Samoa supporters. Now, let me say this. They've got every right to celebrate their campaign. I've got every right to celebrate the tournament that they've had. They have done very well. They've got to the World Cup final. Full credit to them. But there has been a lot of horrible stuff happening. A lot of the Samoa supporters that live towards Mount Druitt Way, it hasn't been good. There's been a lot of negativity down there. A lot of crazy, violent, horrible things. I've had people reach out to me and send me videos. If you're wearing a Kangaroos jersey in the Mount Druitt area down towards Penrith, apparently people have been getting stuff thrown at their cars. People have been saying that they're going to get rocked. They're going to get attacked. And it's just ridiculous. Some of the stuff that people are doing, there's been people driving around in Australia jerseys, Australia flags. Samoa supporters have been throwing stuff at their cars, at their windows, abusing people, going through McDonald's drive-thru, getting abused. This is just a horrible thing. Now, I don't know what their agenda is. I know they're upset they didn't win the game. But let's be honest. You're playing the best in the world. If you lose, take it on the chin. Have some dignity for a change. It was ridiculous. The amount of crime that I have heard of since last night and the early hours of the morning has been an absolute joke and a disgrace. Now, if that's the level we've reached in rugby league and losing big games, if that's the level that we're at, then that is absolutely embarrassing. So, look, obviously you get a lot of great Samoa supporters. You get a couple of bad ones, and you get the ones that are sort of like in the middle. If you're one of those supporters that are throwing rocks at Australia supporters, that are driving around in their cars with the Australian flag, the Australian jersey, the Kangaroos hat, whatever it may be, if you're one of them, you are a fucking loser and you need to be held accountable for what you are doing. I think it's disgusting, and I think it's atrocious what is happening down towards Penrith and the Mount Druitt area. All the Samoa supporters down there. Some of them have been good. Some of them have been horrible. But everything I've been hearing about down that way has been horrible. So hopefully people can learn a lesson and all that, because I think it's so disappointing on what's been happening down there. And there's been a lot of people on Facebook that have been upset. Like, have a look at this. You got this one comment on Facebook. Some guy named Dale goes, lesson 1, how to win a World Cup. Take your own referee. The refereeing last night was fine. The only thing that was bad was the Harris Tavita. Oh, not Harris Tavita. Yeah, the Harris Tavita 40-20 that wasn't called. Besides that, the refereeing was quite reasonable. Whatever. If it was the other way around, ban for the whole league. Oh, hey, how about this one? If that was a Polynesian, it would have been a red card. In referring to Angus Crichton. Who cares what color you are or where you come from? You break the rules, you're going to get binned, you're going to get sent. It's how it is. Doesn't matter if you're Polynesian. That's ridiculous. How about this one? If it was the other way around, Channel 9 and Fox League said he would have been sent off. It would have been bullshit. Next World Cup, Fiji, Papua New Guinea, Tonga, or Samoa will win. It is favoritism towards Australia and New Zealand. That guy is a sook, Crimea River Mark, whatever your name is. Should have been sent off. What an Aussie referee. What does the referee have to do with anything? They got beat 30-10. They got beat by 20 points. Samoa didn't score a try till the 60th minute, so I don't know how these guys can fucking have a big cry. There's a lot of sooks online. A lot of sooks. It should have been sent for the game, to be honest. That's a typical casual comment right there. That's a typical. There's a lot of racism in this, and I'm disappointed. I really am. We are a rugby league nation. This World Cup has been a huge success, but because someone besides Australia doesn't win it, everyone gets upset. Here's the thing. Here's an old motto for everyone to get into their thick skull. To be the best, you gotta beat the best. And if you can't beat Australia, you're not the best. That's how it is. The Kangaroos are the best rugby league team in the world. I don't care if you lose to them. But if you lose to Australia, that's it. Too bad. You're not the best. You got to beat Australia. To be the best, you got to beat the best. It's like boxing. It's like any other sport. If you want to be the whatever champion in boxing, you got to beat the top dog. It's as simple as that. But anyway, guys, I'm getting out of here. Hope you guys enjoyed the Australia versus Samoa Rugby League World Cup final review. The World Cup has been a fantastic success, and to everyone that tuned into this YouTube channel over the World Cup, thank you very much for taking the time out of your day or night to tune into the channel. It's been very good. So thank you to everyone that tuned in. Anyway, I'm getting out of here. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that good shit. Share it around on social media. Anyway, have a fantastic night. Australia are the World Cup champions once again. And Jerome Luai, who's your daddy now, buddy? See you later.